Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Guitar with Gavin. Today we are going to be looking at a song that is a JGB staple, is a favorite for a while. My first introduction to this was on the Electric Eel live album that they came out with. But it is Get Out of My Life, Woman! That's right, Get Out of My Life, Woman. It was originally performed by Lee Dorsey, came out in 1965. It was written by a guy named Alan Toussaint. I don't actually know how to pronounce his last name. It looks French, so I just thought if I use my 3 years of French in high school, it might come out okay. But yeah, so we're just gonna get on into this. It is a very simple song. There's a chord progression, a little riff that you might be familiar with, and then we'll kind of talk about soloing at the end. This is kind of a 12-bar blues, so nothing too fancy on this, but yeah, let's jump on in. So our first chord that we are starting off with is C7. Turn up a little bit, maybe. That is going to be starting on our E string, 8, 10, 8, 9, 8, 8. And so yeah, C7. We do that for 4 measures. Just get out of my life, woman. I don't love you no more. Now we go to a F7. Sorry, I almost said C7 again. F7. So on our A, D, and G string, what I'm doing is just kind of playing a C7 triad. It is just 8, 7, 8. It is essentially just our root, the F, then it is our major third, and then our flat 7th. So if you played blues a little bit, you might be a little familiar with this. And so we're going to do that for 2 measures. Get out of my life, woman. I don't love you no more. Then we go back to C7 for 2 measures. Next is going to drop down to a B flat 7. Then to an F7 for 1 measure, to a C7 for 2. That is the entire song. That is the entire chord progression, the entire way through. So now to talk about that little riff that Jerry does. So you might have heard this. And so yeah, let's go over that. But it's interesting because Jerry plays it. You can hear, I think, like the keys or maybe some bells or something. There's something in the background through some of the live recordings that I'm like, there's someone else back there doing it. And every once in a while, you'll hear him do it over the other chords as well, like when he's over the F. I think I did that wrong, but he does it sometimes over that. He does it sometimes over the B flat. But for the most part, when he is singing and playing, he will just do it over the C7. And so that's where I'm going to teach it to you. It's the same pattern though. We're just starting it off on the root note of the chord that we are playing. So let's talk about it. We're starting on our root note, the C, the 8th fret of our E. We're going to hit the 10th fret of our E and slide it up to the 12th fret. Oops. And then we're going to hit the 10th fret of our D string once, and then the 8th fret of the D string twice. And every once in a while, Jerry kind of plays little differentiating versions of this to kind of give a little more bluesy sound and kind of break up the repetition a little bit. So feel free to play with it. And then to end it, so we have, we go 10 on our A, and then we go 6, 7 on the A. That is that little riff. One more time, we'll hurry and just touch on it. 8th fret of our low E, hit it twice. We're going to hit the 10th fret on the E and slide it up to the 12th fret. That is our major third, which is going to always sound good. And then we're going to hit the 10th fret on our D twice on the 8th fret of the D. Now really quickly on our A string, 10, 6, 7. And I really like this because if you do it when he's going into the F chord, it's just a little walk up. So you always have that, it's super nice. But let's talk about soloing for this song now. I'm not going to get too deep into this. Like I said, this is just a 12-bar blues and Jerry just kind of having some bluesy fun, right? And it's interesting because you can look at it in a number of ways. You can look at it as this is in the key of C, and we're going 1, F, which is our 4 chord, and then we're going to the flat 7th, B flat. And that's a perfectly good way of looking at it. You're like, okay, 1, 4, flat 7th chord. Sure. And that's going to be, let's look at this in the key of C, blues. And then, you know, it also really helps because it's a C7, it's got that major third. You can add in that major scale on top of it, so. Really mix and match that minor and blues sound, right? But more interestingly, you can look at it as a blues in the key of F. Just, it's gonna be really weird. This is weird. F is our 1, C is our 5, and B flat is our 4. And I don't want to like tell people to think of it that way because a blues progression doesn't look like that at all. It's not gonna jam on a 5 and then 4 and then 5 and then or 5, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5. Like, it's really weird, right? And even I'm over here like, I don't know what the heck. But the reason I bring it up is essentially you can play this F minor pentatonic. And you can really, what will make it sound pretty neat is kind of this Dorian feel to it, an F Dorian. And the reason why is because right up here, we are hitting all the notes of our C minor blues scale. So it's gonna still sound really good if you go right into an F minor blues. You're more than welcome to do it. It's kind of weird to like sit there and kind of talk about them and maybe break down, but like if you know your C minor scale, you'll notice that the F minor pentatonic sits right on top of that with a lot of the same notes. So you kind of get this cool sound where you kind of build a little bit more tension because, you know, like I said, and like anyone will say, you know, the target notes of a chord are the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th note. Well, if we're playing an F in the key of C, then we're looking at the 4th note. So you kind of get, you know, if it's not the 1st, 3rd, or 5th, it's kind of a tension building note. So you kind of get a lot of tension out of it that way. I know someone out there is looking at me going, it's not F Dorian, it's the 4th mode. I can't remember. I know it starts with an L, I think. I don't know. Lydian or Locrian, I don't know. It's one of those. I don't know. I know Mixolydian, Dorian, Aeolian, and Ionian. Okay? Those are the important ones. But yeah, like I said, those are good ways of looking at it. C minor, C major, kind of mixing them around a little bit, especially getting that. Oops, let's make that sound good. Mixing those are going to sound great over this. You know, if you're feeling brave, play that F minor. If you're up to it, it's Not gonna sound bad, I promise. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, if you have any requests, any songs you'd like me to do. Maybe there is something you'd like me to break down even more. Leave it below and I'm happy to try it. Thanks, guys.